Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. We have here really notable guests. Among them, you heard the first keynote speaker, Ratches, who actually was one of the co-signers of the Sorbonne Declaration. And the next speaker is one of the co-signers of the Bologna Declaration, which is really historical figures. I wanted to say just some introductory sentence before I'm going to present Professor Pavel Zgaga. It's true that during the Middle Ages, Europe was very much kind of an international cosmopolitan arena before the nation states were established. But after the nation states were established, many higher education systems actually dissolved into very different academic cultures. And part of the different academic cultures was also the modular system, which most of us take it for granted. But up till now, in Cambridge and Oxford, they study one integrative degree and take exams only after 3 years. So the whole idea of modularization in higher education started in Edinburgh University in the 18th century. And it developed in the 1820s because Thomas Jefferson had a Scottish tutor when he studied in William and Mary College in Virginia. And when he established Virginia University in the United States, he adopted the idea of modularization in higher education. But he didn't like the large chunks of modules of the Scottish system, which are up to now 7 large courses. The whole degree, 7 large courses. In England, sometimes 6 large courses. He decided that the culture of United States has to cut it into much smaller bits and pieces. And this is how we have the units in United States. But in United States, they really decided, and they stick to the units throughout history, from 1820 to this day. If you study in a community college, you study at Stanford University, in Harvard, it's still a unit. You can acknowledge it, you cannot acknowledge it, but still it's a unit. Europe went different ways, in different academic cultures. And part of the different modularization schemes, this is a problem that Sorbonne Declaration and also Bologna Declaration aimed to solve, to create a harmonization between the Tower of Babel syndrome of these different modularization systems. So the first lecture you are going to hear is of Professor Pavel Zgaga. I had the privilege to meet him last August in Berlin. Professor Pavel Zgaga, as you heard, was the Secretary of State and the State Secretary for Higher Education and Minister of Education and Sport. In this capacity, he signed also the Bologna Declaration. He's a professor of Philosophy of Education and Education Policy in the University of Ljubljana. In 2001, he co-funded the Center for Educational Policy Studies and also was the Dean of Educational Faculty. He's very active as a consultant and also invited speaker in many countries in the framework of UNESCO, OECD, Council of Europe, and many other programs and collaborative ventures. And the floor is yours, Pavel.